People, it's Jared here, Wolfgang1, back to do another Transformers review. As you can see, I'm trying something a little bit different today. I thought to myself, if I'm going to try and stay off camera for my reviews, I might as well be off camera entirely. So this might work, this might not, I might keep it, I might not, we'll just have to see what happens. Anyway, today we are going to be reviewing the winner of the Transformers YouTube community YouTube page's poll that I put up last week. And that winner was Classics Optimus Prime. So we'll get straight on into it.
Okay, so here is Classics Optimus in his alt mode. Just one thing to point out, this isn't the original Classics mold. This is the one taken from the Age of Extinction Evolution of Optimus Prime 2-pack. So it came with this, as supposed to be the G1 representation, and then the Age of Extinction Prime that had the G1 alt mode, but the movie-style robot mode. And one thing I do want to point out is the fact that this is actually really well done in terms of being an update. So the Classics line was supposed to be an update of the original G1 toys and that. And this strikes a perfect balance between being something quite unique and yet striking all the right familiar tropes for it to be instantly recognisable as what it's supposed to be. I mean, in terms of like the alt mode, this is really quite something. It's got a decent amount of weight to it. As like the old Voyagers, it rolls very, very well on its plastic tyres. There's paintwork all the way around here. There's paintwork here just as well for the headlights. The wheels are painted out. There's a little bit of paint here on the back details of the truck. I'll try and get a little bit closer in so you can see that the paint hasn't taken particularly well on that on this side panel just here. As you can see just here, it's the paint hasn't taken particularly well. It doesn't look like a particularly perfect straight line towards the back or anything like that. The other thing is these red sections just here are painted over blue plastic. My one main gripe with this figure is these hinges just here, where this section folds back and covers the wheels. I'll get to that in the transformation. But why they've chosen to have a clear hinge just here when they could have actually just had all that sprayed that blue or something like that, that sort of detracts away. That this kind of looks like it could be part of the alt mode. This part here kind of fucks with that a little bit. So let's take a look at some of the things that Prime would have come with. Let's zoom back in here, or not. Yeah, do you know what? Fuck it, that'll do. I'm not looking for miracles at this stage. So he comes with, well, actually, all his accessories are on him. I'm going to take this off and take off the weather vane just here, and you are left with the basic cab just there. This part here that sits on the top, this can transform into like a weird shotgun sort of thing. So if I bring that forward a little bit, there we go. So you split this in half like that, fold out this section just here, and then fold out this grey tab just here, which does get a little bit stuck. So thank God I've got something to fuck around here with. But if this fails, then I will just use my teeth. Shouldn't be fucking taking this long. Why can't I just once, ladies and gentlemen, why can't I just for once just do a review that goes from start, beginning and ends perfectly? Who knows, right? So we've got that turns into a shotgun thing. And this here, which forms these smokestacks, can turn into a blaster as well. So again, with a little tool, just like fold out these inside sections just here. Don't know how well you're going to be able to see this because it's black plastic. Let's get Prime out of the way so this actually fucking focuses. Okay, there's one that's I've just popped off, you fucking idiot. Oh, that's never happened before. At least that's what I tell people. And then you pop this one out as well. And then you fold out these two sections just here. I think. Yeah, you fold those out like that. And then collapse the whole thing in on itself. And it forms a little weapon thing, which I think is pretty cool. It's not Prime's iconic ion blaster thing or anything like that. It's all moulded in black plastic. There's no particular detailing or picked out with paint or anything like that. But yeah, so we'll put those off to one side. So in terms of actual weapon storage on the actual vehicle, with this turning into the weather vane and this becoming the smokestacks, that is actually pretty decent. I've got to admit, that surprised the fuck out of me. So yeah. So we are going to move on into the transformation because there's not really a hell of a lot else to say about this mode. The problem with primes and everything like that is they always have this really obvious, that's where the fucking legs are at the back and sort of things like that. I suppose there's not really a lot you can really do about that. But that's not to say that it isn't annoying as fuck. So yeah, let's see if I can't get this a little bit more zoomed in. That's far more zoomed in than I wanted it to be. And do you know what? Let's see if I can't fix this. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. For some reason, it won't allow me to go to 2x zoom when I'm in the middle of a recording. So that's shit. But then again, this is one of my reviews. What on earth did you expect? Right, so getting on to the transformation. As I said, there isn't a lot else to say about the vehicle other than if you take the weather vane off, you've got clear visible head syndrome. And actually, just on this, I will come to this later. But this section here is this section here is the light piping, but the eyes are painted yellow, so you do get a slight glow through the yellow paint on the eyes. But on my one, I've noticed it's not incredible. Having said that, apart there's nothing here that I hate. I mean, I've just noticed as well that it's even got sculpted in red chairs behind the windshield. That's a nice little touch. They didn't have to do that. And obviously then you've got the chromed out grille and front bumper, everything like that. Cleans up pretty well underneath, really. I mean, obviously you can see that's where the thighs are and that, but whatever. Yeah, and the only other problem is sometimes the paint might not take particularly well. This might be a good example of that, just here. Because that's all clear translucent plastic, so all this has been painted over the translucent plastic. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I probably could have done with like another coat, but I'm a 41-year-old man. I've got more important things to be bitching about in life than whether or not my Transformers have got enough fucking paint on the translucent plastic. Let's be honest. I don't know what else to say about that really. So we're gonna get to transforming this guy. Start with taking these sections just here and folding them back over the rear wheels, which is a lovely little way to disguise the rear wheels. And see, this is what I'm talking about here. This whole clear plastic hinge thing, if this had been blue, you would not have fucking noticed that at all. However, on both sides, that sticks out like a sore thumb. But, whatever. So we've done that. Then we want to extend the back section down like that. Pull up these two tabs here. These will form the kneecaps. And there's a little bit of paintwork in there, which is a nice little detail. These two tabs down the bottom here, extend these out for the feet. And then split this whole assembly apart, just like that. And then that's basically your legs done right there. Then we are going to come on to the top of the cab. This is always my favourite because I always get confused. This is not a complicated fucking toy, ladies and gentlemen, right? But for some reason, I always get confused with how this whole thing goes. So we're going to take these two sections just here and start splitting everything apart from the back round to the forward. Okay, so from here, and then once you've disabled that a little bit, try and get that out so that comes away. Try and bring these parts out, and then bring the back of the whole thing forward like this. Okay. Which I'll be honest with you, that doesn't really look a hell of a lot like anything, but it will get better. So then we want to start just basically getting all this out the way. So bring this out to the sides on both sides. You can even bring down these little black tabs which will form the hands. Rotate the shoulders forward on both sides. Bring the arm. Actually, hang on. Before we do that, this whole top section here, spin this round 180 degrees. There's always there's always a clearance issue there. Right, okay, so let's do this another way. Let's open this up, take out the head. I always like the head reveal being last, but for some reason you can't always do it on these. Bring out the head, spin it round, just like that. And then this whole thing, just sort of get it out there for now. Spin this whole assembly around to the front. And then just bring the arms down. And then we have to start clearing things up. Now that's easier said than done with this figure. And these basically you want to wrap around and then wrap around again. So that kind of covers the forearms, which is quite nice, but it has its own issues. And then bring these around. Is that like that? I don't know. Always, that's it. Bring them around to the front and then spin these up to the sides. Okay. I don't know how much of any of that you've got on camera. Yeah, fuck it. And then the last part is this back section just here. Bring up the wheel assembly like that. And then you've just got to try and straighten all this up. Like that. Which again doesn't look like much, but that will come into its own in a minute. And straighten him up. Make him look like something other than what I've made him to look like, which is a piece of shit. And then, hopefully, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is Classics Optimus Prime. Now, he's alright. I like him. I had the Classics mould for Ultra Magnus. And I had the City Commander add-on set for that, so I didn't really display it. And when I did display it in Ultra Magnus mode, I had it in like sort of in White Prime mode. I had it all like sort of kitted up and everything like that, but I've got rid of that. This figure, I did always want the original Classics Prime, never managed to get hold of it. So when the 2-pack came along, I bought it for this and not the Evasion mode Optimus Prime. There's more yellow paint just here on the crutch, yellow paint here for the headlights, and all the grille and the under rib cage silver sections, they're all painted in as well, and some nice painted details just here on the forearms. The eyes are painted in, the crest is painted in, and so is the guard plate, the mouth plate. I'm not going to bother trying to do the light piping thing because I can't be asked to switch everything around. But yeah, that is his robot mode. He's articulation wise, there's a little bit of movement in the head. You can look down and everything like that. He can move around 360 at the elbow. There's a joint that comes out to the side. He can spin around at the elbow just there, and also at the shoulder. Hands go around a full 360. Legs will, I don't know, go out that far and go that far due to the wheels at the back. Yeah, he's solid. My one has always been incredibly stiff. That's what I tell people as well. You can get him into some decent poses. I mean, considering this is what, 2008, 2010, something like that. I can't remember, 2007 engineering. There is still some decent articulation. You've got no ankle tilt or anything like that, which means some of the positions you can get him in might look a little bit weird, because it all depends where you can position the legs and the knees. But yeah, there he is. That's Prime right there, and he's all right. He's not the shittest thing that I've got in my collection. Believe me, I will be doing a review on the shittest thing that I've got in my collection again. So he holds his guns in both hands, although this one here has always been a bit of an issue. It doesn't help, of course, that the hand is upside down. So if I spin that around, except I can't. Oh no, that is actually, the hand is the right way around. So there's always been a bit of an issue with him holding either gun in that hand, although he will do it. And of course he can hold his shotgun thing as well. I would say that the shotgun piece is the shittest accessory that Prime has here. So what I tend to do is fold it back into shit, weather vane thing. So it all comes around like that. That looks absolutely lovely like that. He doesn't hold it in his hand like this, so he can't use it as a shield. What I tend to do, because it doesn't detract from the figure whatsoever, is I tend to put it on the back like this, and tend to have Prime with a little backpack thing, if you will. And that works absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. My main gripes with this figure, again, the plastic hinges just here on the legs. Really could have done with being like the same colour blue as the rest of the leg, because otherwise it does look like exactly what it is, which is a fucking hinge, which kind of takes you out of the escapism of it all. The articulation is fine. It's a little bit limited, so you can't get him into half the poses you can get a normal figure in. But that's, it is a product of its time, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, after all, you can't pose a fucking G1 other than a statue because of the engineering for their time. Is that a limitation for him? I don't think so, because it's depends on the line, really, doesn't it? Depends on the year. I mean, I wouldn't say that the lack of articulation is in any way disparaging towards a G1 figure. It's just the way they are. It's the way they were designed. It's the way they were built. It's only as things have got better that people expect articulation in every single, like 35 points of articulation in a fucking arm or something like that. It's not always the case. You're not always going to get that. I don't think that detracts from this figure at all. The head sculpt is one of the most stylized I've ever seen for a Prime. Again, focusing would be really, really nice about now. There we go. Some of the most one of the most stylized sculpts I've ever seen for a Prime head. It sort of takes its cues from the Power Master Prime to a degree, with maybe a little bit of Armada in there as well. Maybe a hint of Energon, and definitely a lot of G1. So it's not as if they've settled on one basic design. That they've tried incorporating a few different things. There's a few different nods to a few different generations and what people fucking grew up with for their childhood. Would I recommend getting the Classics Prime? Yeah, I think I probably would. He is as I said, he's not shit. He's not the greatest thing I've got in my collection by any stretch of the imagination, but he certainly doesn't do anything to detract from it at the same time. I don't know if they did another update of this, how they would make it any better. I mean, I know you've got the Earthrise, I know you've got the fucking Kingdom and the Siege line, sort of blah blah. But I'm talking specifically updating this mold. Is there anything that they could do that would possibly make it better? I don't know. As I said, the Alt mode is a fantastic representation of trying to be something a little bit new, a little bit modern, but still taking so many design cues and so many tropes that you go, fuck me, that's Optimus Prime. You know exactly what it is before you've transformed it. And for that, I'd say it's an instant win on that front alone. Yeah, he's cool. I would rate him. I'd rate him a solid 7 out of 10. He's a little bit awkward. I guess the lack of articulation might do that, but again, product of his time, he can't be helped. So the accessories storage in Alt mode is fantastic. They don't necessarily carry over brilliantly to the robot mode. A double barrel blaster is fine for a gun, but it's not Prime's signature gun. If you're going to take so many design tropes from like the head sculpt to like how certain accents need to be and sort of things like that, why you wouldn't give him his signature cannon is beyond me. But there we are. You've got the Autobot symbol that's very, very nicely on the shoulder just there. It works on most levels, I think, is what I'm trying to say. It works on most levels, and being what it was for its time, I think it did its job outstandingly. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this review, such as it was. This is J.R. Gavin Barry, also known as Wolfgang1, saying if you're liking this new style, drop me a comment. Do the rate, comment, and subscribe thing that every fucking YouTuber insists on asking you to do. If you want to do that, fucking go ahead. I ain't got a problem with it. If you don't want to do that, then I'm not going to lose any sleep over it at the same time. I would like to see this channel grow, but I don't see why I should have to ransom you and your emotions, and emotionally blackmail. Oh, please rate, comment, and subscribe, and hit that like button. If you want to hit the like button, hit the like button. You shouldn't have to be fucking told to do it. So I'm not telling you to do anything. If you like it, do whatever you're going to do, and make that of your own free will, right, I will have no influence in it whatsoever, even though I probably should do. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this review. I'll be back next Monday with another review, which I'll put a poll up on Facebook for. Don't forget, we've got 7 Days to Die coming on Friday. And at the end of the month, we're going to be having perhaps the first edition in quite a while of Wolfgang News. So, yes, so much to tune in for, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, stop by my Facebook page and give that a like. Now, I will say give that one a like, because I only just started that and I'm trying to build a little bit of interest. So, yeah, go ahead, go to the Facebook page and like that, right? And you'll get more information about what's going on here. Other than that, you know, whatever. Enjoy the rest of your fucking week. It's been nice to talk to you. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, take care.
And when tomorrow comes, I feel you laying by me, like you ain't got nowhere else to go.